moment.
You mentioned before being proud of ITV's output in many ways.
Yes.
Not proud in others. Daybreak.
It's me off Jeremy Kyle's Christmas card list.
Well, Daybreak, the viewing figures are reportedly low, and obviously it's well reported that ITV have had to cut back on their local news coverage up and down the country. Do you think this represents a crisis or a shift in terms of television news?
No, it's not a crisis, and I think the two are quite separate. I think regional news, there is an economic crisis within ITV. And it's not to do with regional news. Regional news is a victim to a degree of it. And when ITV was set up in the 50s, we were the only commercial channel. Spool forward very, very quickly, as you know, Pink Floyd have a lovely line in one of their songs, 16 channels of shit on the TV to choose from. You know, you can now put another 2 zeros almost after that. And the bulk of those 400-500 channels that are available, if you've got the all singing, dancing Sky offer, the bulk of them are commercially funded. And so we are competing in a very tough commercial environment. Secondly, when ITV became a single PLC under Charles Allen, there was a thing called contract rights renewal. That was a deal that was struck that protects the interest of the advertisers. Quite rightly, a perfectly reasonable thing, but that was pre-recession. So we're now operating under a set of commercial rules that actually are irrelevant to a UK economy coming out of recession. And if they want a lot more great programmes, from X Factor through I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here to Downton Abbey, which is expensive, high-quality drama, then they've got to let us off the leash. Until such time as they let us off the leash and let us just do our own thing, we will look at programmes like regional news, which we love. And Archie Norman, our chairman, is committed to it. Adam Crozier, our chief executive, is committed to it. But you got to say, you know, it costs X million pounds a year to do, and we don't have ads within it because we need them later on when we've got bigger audiences. In the recent Snow story, as we would call it, you know, when we had all the bad weather, blah, 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 the highest rated programme of the 4 that exists between 6 and 7, where you've got regional ITV, national ITV, national BBC, regional BBC, was regional BBC. Biggest single audience of those 4. Quite extraordinary. So we're committed to it. We can make it work, but we've got to get the economics of it right. As far as Daybreak is concerned, the guy who runs Daybreak is one of my closest personal friends in the business, Ian Rumsey, one of the most brilliant television journalists I've ever had the pleasure to work with. He produced the general election coverage from these very desks that we're sitting at. With Daybreak, they're trying to do something that's completely different, with a different set of people, and it does take time. I think that Ian and others, including Adrian and Christina, are disappointed with the ratings, but there's a lot of people at home saying, oh, I'm not going to watch this because I used to like GMTV, in the same way that a lot of people watching GMTV say, I'm not going to watch this because I used to like TVAM, you know, and it is quite difficult. But I, as I said to you earlier on, I listen to radio in the morning. I don't tend to watch breakfast television. And the people who do watch breakfast television are a rather special type. I mean, in the sense it's typically mums working against the odds to try and make breakfast for a working husband. This is not sexist. This is just the demographics of the UK. And get, you know, clean and polished kids to get them off to school and what have you. And I think you've just got to think a bit more cleverly about what she is most likely to want to watch. And it is she who watched GMTV in bigger numbers than she is currently watching Daybreak. But if anyone's going to get it right, it's Ian Rumsey, because the man's a genius.
Now, with employment levels for new graduates, the lowest, I believe it's 13 years. We at Winchester News Online, we've obtained figures which suggest that the BBC's employment record of new graduates over the last 3 years is slipped drastically.
Yeah.
Do you think it is harder than ever before for